Traveling the world has always been exciting, but in 2025, some places are off limits for American travelers. Whether due to political issues, safety risks, or new visa rules, certain countries have stopped allowing U.S. visitors. In this video, we'll look at 7 countries Americans can't visit in 2025 and explain why these restrictions exist and how they affect global travel. At the top of the list is North Korea, officially called the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Before 2017, a small number of tourists could visit North Korea through guided tours from China, either by flying from Beijing or taking a train across the border. North Korea's strict policies, known as juche, and its tense relationship with the U.S. have made travel difficult for Americans. Today, it's one of the hardest places for U.S. citizens to visit. The U.S. travel ban to North Korea was largely influenced by the tragic case of Otto Warmbier, a young American student. In 2015, he joined a guided tour to North Korea. While leaving in early 2016, he was arrested at the airport and accused of trying to steal a propaganda poster. After a short trial, he was sentenced to 15 years of hard labor. Unfortunately, his situation took a devastating turn. After 17 months in captivity, he was released in a coma with severe brain damage. He passed away 6 days later in June 2017. Following his death, the U.S. government banned American citizens from traveling to North Korea in July 2017. Now, the only way Americans can visit is by getting a special validation passport, which is granted only in rare cases, such as for journalists or humanitarian workers. Before we continue to the next country on our list, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can get more travel-related information through our videos. Iran is a country full of history and friendly people, but for Americans, visiting comes with many challenges. Since the 1979 Iranian Revolution, relations between the U.S. and Iran have been tense, with heavy sanctions in place due to nuclear disputes. Traveling to Iran as an American isn't impossible, but it requires booking a guided tour and going through a long visa process. Bhutan, a peaceful kingdom in the Himalayas, isn't difficult to visit because of politics, but because of its strict tourism rules. To protect its culture and environment, Bhutan limits the number of tourists and requires Americans to pay a daily fee of $200 to $250. This policy, called high value, low impact, helps promote sustainable tourism. While the fee may seem high, it includes a lot: accommodation in 3-star hotels, all meals, a licensed tour guide, transportation, camping gear for trekkers, and a tourism royalty that supports free education, healthcare, and infrastructure in Bhutan. Basically, it's an all-inclusive package that directly benefits the country and its people. Although relations between the U.S. and Cuba have improved slightly, travel restrictions are still in place. Due to a long-standing U.S. embargo, American tourists can't visit Cuba just for vacation. However, travel is allowed under 12 specific categories. These include family visits, journalism, research, religious activities, public performances, and the most common option, support for the Cuban people. This means travelers must follow a full schedule of activities that benefit Cubans, such as staying in private homes, eating at local restaurants, shopping at small markets, or talking with locals about daily life. Once you pick a travel category, you'll need a Cuban tourist card. If flying from the US, this card is pink. If coming from another country, it's green. Some airlines include it in the ticket price, while others charge a separate fee. Eritrea, located in the Horn of Africa, is sometimes called the North Korea of Africa because of its strict government policies and isolation. Relations between the U.S. and Eritrea are tense due to human rights concerns and the detention of local U.S. Embassy employees. Getting a tourist visa for Eritrea is very difficult. Even if you submit all the required documents, approval is not guaranteed, and the process can take months. Even with a visa, traveling around Eritrea isn't easy. Visitors need a special travel permit to go outside the capital, Asmara. These permits are often only granted for certain areas, and traveling beyond them can lead to fines or other penalties. Saudi Arabia used to be difficult for American tourists to visit because of its strict visa rules. In the past, visas were mostly given to business travelers, religious pilgrims, and family members of residents. However, in 2019, the country introduced a tourist visa as part of its Vision 2030 plan to attract more visitors and diversify its economy beyond oil. Now, Americans can apply for an e-visa online. The process is simple. Fill out a form, upload a passport-sized photo, and pay a fee. The visa is valid for 1 year and allows multiple visits, with each stay up to 90 days. Despite these changes, women still face some restrictions. Those under 25 must travel with a family member, while women over 25 can visit alone. The strict dress code has been relaxed, but modest clothing is still expected. Saudi Arabia is home to 5 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, including the historic city of Diriyah and the ancient rock art of Hail. However, some places remain off-limits to non-Muslims, and visitors should always follow local customs and laws. Turkmenistan, known for its surreal landscapes, ancient ruins, and the famous Door to Hell crater, is one of the most challenging countries for Americans to visit due to its strict visa policies. The U.S. has limited diplomatic ties with Turkmenistan, largely due to human rights concerns and the country's authoritarian government. Unlike many countries with online visa applications, Turkmenistan requires Americans to apply in person through its embassy in Washington, D.C. A key hurdle is the letter of invitation, which must be arranged through a Turkmen travel agency before applying for a visa. The process takes weeks, and approval is never guaranteed. Independent travel is almost impossible. Most tourists must book a guided tour for their entire stay. A rare alternative is the transit visa, which allows up to 5 days of travel through the country, but this requires a detailed itinerary and is often rejected. Once in Turkmenistan, visitors must register with the State Migration Service within 3 days. Failure to do so can lead to fines and problems when leaving. Traveling the world is an incredible experience, but as we've seen, not every destination is easy to visit, especially for American travelers in 2025. Whether due to diplomatic tensions, strict visa policies, or government restrictions, these 7 countries remain off-limits or extremely difficult to enter. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest travel updates. Let us know in the comments which country surprised you the most. See you in the next one.